beautiful gemstones. Welcome to Tuesday, Monday Madness. I always want to say live intuitive oracle because, of course, that's my favorite. But welcome to Tuesday's afternoon talk. There's only one person in here, my cousin, Robert Haywood Jr. Thank you so much for coming in, cuz I'm going to share this out to my mom. She wanted to come in because we have a special guest today. The thing is, this stream is it's bi-weekly on Monday at noon. And I couldn't do it yesterday because today is Mom's birthday and we celebrated yesterday. So I'm just really, I would like to wait for a few more people to come in before I bring on our guest. Our guest is a gemstone who has been with this channel for quite a while. And he and I started doing private video spirituality sessions is what I call them, but that's not exactly what they are. Mainly, I like to do attachment removal. That's something I'm good at, and I like to do what I'm good at. I just kind of collect these negative entities and cross them over, even though a lot of the time it's not nearly that simple. But that's the simplest terms that I can break it down into, right? So this man, I've been saying, and I talk about it all the time Wednesday nights, that I'm really proud of him. Oh, thank you. I will. I'm really proud of him because he's actually not only stuck with the program, but he's taken all suggestions. He asks a lot of questions, which is always encouraged, because if you don't ask the questions, I can't answer the questions. And that means you're walking around with questions, and that could be terrifying. However, one of the main reasons I wanted him to come on too, and I was so excited when he had mentioned possibly coming on, what's up, Roger, was because it didn't all come up roses the minute we removed these attachments, even though they were very long-term attachments and had been draining him in all possible ways. Yes, he gets a cookie. Welcome, Blue Crossroads. I mean, in every way possible, just kind of ruining his life since the 80s. But people think that when you have these attachment removals, that your life suddenly just, you wake up the next day and your life just gets so much better. What's up, Smoochy girl? But the fact of the matter is, and I just want to explain a little bit and then I'm going to bring them in. When you have attachments like the attachments he had, there is this battle for your soul more so than what's already going on around us, right? Being someone who can see most of what's going on around us at all times, and I have to like shut it down. I know that the demonic is always there, and I know that the angelic is always there as well. And when you have these kinds of attachments, and one of the attachments actually was so angry, and I'll let New England Dirt Roadie explain to you, that whole situation as to why maybe that entity was as angry as he was. His anger over the years created a whole separate, I would go so far as to say evil entity that was kind of taking on a life of its own. Now, it wasn't a spirit, it wasn't a demon, it was just negative energy that all came together and started forming this other energy. We were able to get rid of that. But recently there's been some stuff happening, and I believe, and guys, remember, no matter what you believe, just always be respectful to our guest. He is a fellow gemstone, so there should be no issues there. Feel free to ask questions though, and state your opinions. That's another reason I wanted him to come on here. I was excited about it because you guys have more than just I have, or just me and Steven have, or so. Oh, Blue Crossroads. So yeah, if you have any input or, just anything, any of your own experiences and things like that, please feel free to discuss them in the chat or bring them up. If you have questions, try to remember to put them in caps. Now, I have Ghostdragonzw with me. He's usually really good at grabbing the questions and starring them or putting them on the screen. But in case we miss one, so if we, I am very blue today. So if we miss one, we're not ignoring you. We probably just didn't see it. I just want to send this out to my mom, and I don't know why I can't do it. I couldn't do it until I started the stream from my phone. So I'm just going to send this to her, and then I will bring them in and we can get started. Yeah, it's not showing up that this is a live stream right now, which is very strange indeed. Let's see. Not happening. Ghostdragonzw. Dang it. Why can't I? Hold on. Let me try one more thing. And if not, we'll just move on and hopefully she'll be able to see it. Yep. Let me tag her on Facebook, guys. I'm sorry about that. I tried to do it before the stream started, but because my Wi-Fi is so messed up, it just doesn't work that way. All right. So hopefully she sees that. And let's bring them in. Let me bring in. You guys never cease to put a smile on my face. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I need intuitive oracle. Like I never like this weekend have I needed intuitive oracle. I did the whole Chuck E. Cheese thing. It was fun. I want to mention one more thing, guys. I got downloads all weekend long to the point of filling 1.5 5-star notebooks with messages. And I think I can cover a lot, and I'm going to cover it as this is my knowledge, what I was told, what was downloaded to me, and what I've learned and researched, because I did some more research into that stuff with everything else going on. So we're going to have an 8 to 10 part series on the Galactic Federation and on all the entities involved. And I found out a lot about a specific alien race that I've always been very interested in, terrified of the reptilians, and a lot you'll be out of town tomorrow, so you're not going to have like a phone. You can't even listen along. You're just going to do us like that, Blue Crossroads. I see how you are. If you can't be here, though, text me and I'll pull the card for you anyway. All right, let's bring them in. Awesome number 1. Awesome number 2. Welcome, New England Dirt Roadie.
Hello, Gemma Jade. Hello, Dragon.
Baby UFO, welcome. I think I got everybody.
And hello to Blue Crossroads and Baby UFO and Smoochie.
Who else in there? Roger Blair and Robert Haywood Jr. Yeah, so we got everybody. This is New England Dirt Roadie's first time on, I think, a live stream, right?
Yeah. My very first one.
Oh, there she is. All right, there's Mom. Okay. Happy birthday, Mom.
Just happy birthday. Happy birthday, Rebecca. I love you, baby doll.
And happy birthday to Ghostdragonzw's granddaughter, Rebecca, as well. July is just a crazy month for birthdays. I do want to get into this because it's 12:15 here and I've got a lot of work to catch up on, but I don't want to cut this one short, guys. I really don't, because I feel like there's a lot that needs to be said. So like I said, guys, as always, like you always are, just be respectful. Make New England Dirt Roadie feel comfortable and at home. And Netter, do you want to just kind of start it off? Maybe tell the story of how you believe you got the attachments in the first place. And I may interrupt to ask questions or clarifying questions, but I will try to just let you go through that part of the story.
Yeah, so as briefly as possible, back in the fall of '88, I was sort of tangentially involved in as absurd as it sounds, a grave robbing. I was with it is what it is.
I'm sorry. It just makes me laugh every time. I was just grave robbing.
Even more absurd now that I say it out loud. I was with this guy and a couple other people, I think, and we hung out in the graveyard because we didn't like going down to the bars. And yeah, I mean, the whole place was kind of trashed. And there was this mausoleum that had been totally busted out. I mean, completely. They had boarded up the windows at one point, and that had been busted out. The coffins that were sealed in the wall had been busted out, and the coffin lids opened. And I was just like, whoa, this is really freaky. And my buddy, he starts climbing in.
Oh my God.
And you can actually go online, because there is information online about it. And so I see him climbing in, and that's when I'm just like, okay, I'm out of here. I leave, but the guy winds up taking the skull of the city mayor, I think, who had been mayor around the turn of the century. And yeah, so that's kind of the backstory. And life has gone on.
What trajectory has your life taken? And I remember when you came to me, like, you absolutely knew that this was what had caused the downward trajectory of your life.
I think that's, I had, for a while now, that's what I mean, my life has been kind of off track for my entire adult life. No matter where I went, no matter what I did, it's just sort of, I've been kind of directionless ever since.
And I want to clarify, just like we all feel that way at times, like we're unlucky or cursed, but this was to a really extreme degree. And when you're done explaining, because you said you don't mind, guys, just know I would never do this unless I was given permission. I want to read a little bit from your file that I have from our first meeting together.
Yeah, go ahead.
Smoochy, isn't he?
The dead don't care.
I put it up on the screen for you. All right. So it was January 4th, January 24th, 2023, video call through StreamYard. And I have all of your, astrological information. I wrote, I noticed right away the presence of two male entities. They were once human and were friends in their lifetime. At least one died in the 17 or 1800s. One, subject A, was energetically drained and tired of being attached to the other one. I collected subject A, let him vent, and within a few days crossed him over. The other entity, subject B, was angry and agitated almost to the point of consumption, meaning almost like it was consuming him. He refused to let go of the attachment to, I wrote, client here is New England Dirt Roadie, and admitted to being with him since the cemetery incident back in 1988. He believed the client committed a serious grievance towards him with the theft of the skull, or was at least complicit in the event, and has vowed to not let him go or ever be at peace. I tried to also collect this man as well, but he was much harder. I advised client I would check back in with him in a few days' time, and that depending on what we further discussed, I would get him a package containing some things for rituals to be carried out by him, and an accompanying email explaining information and items in the box, and he agreed to it. So one of the things I found noteworthy, I literally kept a note of it, is that you explained that while in college in Syracuse in 1988, you and a friend either went into or broke into an already severely desecrated and very old graveyard. Then I talked about what you had said. I wrote that you don't know what became of the friend or the skull, and that you came to me kind of just to bounce ideas back and forth and see what was going on. You fell under suspicion by authorities as the thief, and the event was all over the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
They thought you had done it, even though you didn't.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And I wrote, client has taken on shame and guilt since the incident and isn't expressing it healthily. And the last thing I really wrote that's notable is it's clear the entity whose head was stolen does not want the client to remember specific events he otherwise should have been able to recall about the initial event. So in essence, you took my head or were complicit in the taking of my head.
Mhm.
So now you will not remember. You will lose your head, lose your mind, is how I basically took that. Let me say hi to everyone that just came in.
Wow.
Paranormal Pixie, Nick C, what is up? And Edna, and anyone else that I missed. We're talking to New England Dirt Roadie. Yeah, and you always do that. You're always so surprised that like I make connections. And I'm like, it's what I do for a living. And you're like, I know, but so talk a little bit about what we did, and then if you wanna talk about what's going on recently, because the reason I wanted to do a little backstory but talk more about what's happening with you right now is because I think some people in the chat, I'm glad Aunt Edna's here, I'm glad Pixie's here, because they're also I mean, everyone in here would be a good person to talk with about this kind of stuff, but because of especially Pixie in particular, she does basically the same things I do, but she does like anything that I don't know how to do, she knows how to do, and things that she's not that good at doing, I'm like better at doing. So we're kind of like this dynamic duo, and I feel like she could really be of some assistance to you. But talk a little bit about what you and I did in January, and we've been working on this since January. All the time, whenever we have time, we get together and we talk. But I really want to get to the heart of what's been going on recently. It's like you were feeling better, and then all of a sudden.
Oh, okay. So
that's your cue.
The last couple weeks have really been crazy, and it's a little bit difficult for me. I didn't realize we started this all the way back in January.
I know.
So yeah, we had a few video conferences, and Gemma, she sent me this amazing package of all this stuff. Like I got,
a lot of you guys have gotten those.
I got this candle. I got well, oh, here, I guess Paranormal Pixies
Lara, yep.
in the chat. And I got this from her right here, along with the crystal. I got a whole bunch of, I just had to clean my coffee table today. I got this keychain, and then I got this selenite, and you gave me this one.
Oh, black tourmaline. More. A lot of, they all know. I mean, most of them have received that at one point or another from me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gave me this stuff.
Yes, I gave him an offering mix that I made specifically for what was going on with him. I believe I sent some uncrossing spray, the black sage, and he does use it. Here's the issue that we were both for a minute like confused, like why is this happening now that he sees a Reiki master, you know, he does a lot of spiritual things. New England Dirt Roadie is spiritual, but he started getting these massive anxiety attacks, and then all of a sudden, I just want to explain one thing before he starts. A lot of people understand that flies are connected to demonic activity, but a lot of people don't understand why. And when I told New England Dirt Roadie, he did what he kind of just did and went, oh my gosh, like that makes perfect sense because this is happening. Flies are an instrument of the demonic, and you wouldn't think so because they're just flies. I mean, they could use so many other things. Bees can sting you and like physically hurt you, right? No, they use flies. Why? If you get a ton of flies together, you can't hear yourself think. And when you're specifically coming through into a spiritual awakening from an attachment disorder is what I call it, from 1988, okay, and you're in 2023, and we started this at the very beginning of the year, you're receiving more messages from the Holy Spirit. There's extraterrestrial stuff that's involved here that's on a completely different level, but I wanted to do the spiritual stuff today. They drown out messages from the Holy Spirit. They steal messages from downloads you receive, whether you believe it's coming from spirit, from extraterrestrials, from God himself, or the Galactic Federation. It doesn't matter where you think these downloads and messages are coming from in your heart. The fact of the matter is the flies drown them out. They steal them. They distract you. You can't sit and listen to something when you have 100 flies flying around, like literally 100 though, not just like, a few. Even a few are distracting, right?
250. I mean, easily 200 flies. But anyway, you gave me this whole protocol of what to do in my apartment. Like I have a couple crystals under my bed. When I first did this saging, I had the most, she told me exactly what to do, get the corners. Oh, she gave me this black salt that I put in every corner. And then, when I did this saging, like I went around my entire apartment and I was saying the Lord's Prayer. I was praying in the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. And when I was
New Englander Rhodey's belief,
when I was done, I had the craziest panic attack I ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't even put it into words. I freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, I did something wrong. I had to leave my apartment, and because I thought, okay, I just summoned a demon or something.
Right. And if you're not used to the ritual, you would think that, but black sage specifically is to balance and cleanse all of your energy, but it's mainly for psychic energy. And that's what we wanted to do, because the mayor, as New Englander Rhodey and I call him, like I said, his rage created this whole separate entity, which we also had to get rid of. Once that entity was gone, you were so used to living with, even though you weren't a rageful person, you were so used to all of that hanging on your energy that once it was cleared and cleansed, you were just in your body and you were just this light being again. And 88, 98, 2008, 2018, 34 years of having all of this darkness attached to you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Nope, it's okay. It can be a shock to the system. So first I want you to, if you can, and I don't mean to rush you, we've got like a half hour. What's up, Ralph and Cassie? Everyone else that came in, all of the newcomers, thank you. Be sure to join us tomorrow for Intuitive Oracle, 7:15 Eastern. So I want you to talk a little bit about, and I always remember this conversation that we had. When you messaged me about the first time you met your upstairs neighbor.
So right around that time, maybe they moved in February 1st. Now that I think about it, because I think I started doing this whole cleansing ritual right as they were moving in. I got these new neighbors, and immediately, right from the get-go, it was like until 3 a.m. they were stomping and banging around. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a week. They're moving in, whatever. And then after a week, it's like 1:30 in the morning and they're still banging around. And I go upstairs and I knock on the door, and this girl cracks the door open. She's like, hi. I say, hi, I'm your downstairs neighbor. I don't know if you realize, but the stomping and banging around up here reverberates through my apartment. And she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, and closes the door. Like, okay. And then the next night, it was 1:30 to 2:30, and they're still stomping and banging around upstairs right over my head. And it was the next night, and the night after that. So a week or so passes by, and I'm like, I guess that didn't sink in. And I go back upstairs, and I knock on the door again. And this guy opens the door. Yeah. It was at that point, it was after I had done the cleansing ritual. And he opened the door, and I don't know what it was, but I had to resist with every cell in my body to keep from assaulting him violently. And like I was just overcome with this, with the second I saw him, and I was just like, I said it again. I'm like, hi, I'm your downstairs neighbor. All the banging and stomping around reverberates through my apartment and keeps me awake at night. And he's like, oh, whatever, and closes the door. And I say through the door, this is going on every single night. And he's like, from the other side of the closed door. Oh yeah, whatever. Oh my God. And that was it. I'm just like, okay, you're getting complaints now through management.
His attitude matched his energy.
Oh my God. It was like, it was dismissive arrogance and condescension. And I'm like, I went back downstairs, and it has been nearly every single night that they're stomping and banging around. Yeah. So that was that. And there's been a couple of developments recently regarding that. Yeah. And so, you know, we had a conversation about this, and you had some things to say about him, right?
Yes. The Paranormal Pixie was kind of right on the dot too. She said it sounds like oppression, and I feel like your newfound positive light energy that you were feeling around your body, and even though you hadn't gotten like really used to it yet, you were coming into it. When you met someone who was so oppressed, and I believe, I don't know if I want to say that that he specifically is purposely doing this, but I immediately saw like demonic attachment, and I feel like your newly kind of enlightened being is what immediately recognized that, because you're not the type of guy that just meets someone and wants to hit them. I mean, we can all see that on you.
Most of it.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, there has to be something with the person, right? It's not just, you don't just go around wanting to clock strangers. I don't think many of us do past a certain age.
Yeah.
And I remember immediately thinking that there has to be something attached to this guy that saw your lightness and saw the piece that was kind of just starting to center around you and wanted it. So I feel like it immediately reached out to you, and then the door was closed, which probably, luckily, he did close the door in your face, so you didn't end up with another immediate attachment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like that's exactly what happened there. And I feel like whatever is attached to him is why you, like, I don't feel like you just think about him a lot. You think about them because they make a lot of noise still to this day, and it's an issue, a constant ongoing battle for you. But I do feel like some of it has to do with that entity reaching out to your energy, because his is tainted. His is already overtaken. So why not? And when you keep saging, remember I just said, keep saging, keep doing ritual, keep saying you believe in Jesus like I do, just keep saying the Lord's Prayer, keep praying. And once you started doing that, now you have something else going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, I saged a second time. I don't remember really the reason. I think I just wanted to do like a buffer sage, and I think I got a pretty bad reaction out of him that night. Anyway, yeah. So 2 weekends ago, I think it started like 2 weekends ago, but during the week, that week, I started getting this fly infestation. And I'm talking about like a 70s Hollywood demon possession level fly infestation, if you know what I mean. Like, I think there was a scene in
Amityville. That's what my mom said when I mentioned it to her. It's the first thing we thought of.
It was Amityville horror level fly infestation, and I would wake up in the morning. And can you play those 2 videos that I sent you?
We're gonna try. We should be able to. We're gonna try.
I would wake up in the morning, and they would be my windows here look over my patio in the back, and there would just be 30 flies, easily 30 flies on my window and in the window screen. So, I would take and just and start spraying them all. And then like a dozen more would come out. And I would be like, I got to get to work. And I'm just shooting them out of the sky. And then I'd go to work, and I'd come home, and there would be 30 more flies in the window, and I'd be killing them all, and I'd kill all the flies. And then this is the weird part. I would kill all the flies, and then 3 more would come out, and I'd kill those 3 flies. And this is like 7 o'clock at night. And I'd kill the 3 flies, and then 3 more would come out. And I'd kill those 3 flies, and then 3 more would come out. And I'd kill those 3 flies. I was killing flies until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because you were messaging me a little bit later than normal, which it doesn't matter to me, guys, because I keep my ringer off and I respond whenever I see it. So you can't ever bother me. And that's why I tell you guys, message me anytime, day or night, but just don't expect an answer immediately because I might be sleeping. But 2 things I want to address. Edna, that's the same advice I gave you. And Edna said I'd sage every week. And you have been saging a lot more. And Shelly missed the beginning a little bit, so I don't mind repeating. The reason with flies, specifically Shelly, is that they are instruments. They're not demonic themselves, they're flies, but they're instruments of the devil, where they'll be used to drown out or steal messages coming through from Netter and I call it the Holy Spirit, but you may call it something different. And sometimes they steal downloads from extraterrestrials. They suppress your spiritual enlightenment. They suppress it. You have to understand, guys, demonic forces, dark energy, and entities have had possession over New England Dirt Roadie's energy and spirit since 1988 during the grave robbing incident. That's, what did we say, 34 years? Yeah, 34 years. And then I come along, and his Reiki master comes along, and he's learning all these things in the chat where we are able to get rid of all of that stuff. So he now has to acclimate to being just a regular, normal person with a few little things here and there on his aura. He's not so suppressed and overtaken. So because he no longer belongs to that dark, demonic, negative entity and energy, it wants him at all costs now, because that was a sure thing. How was he, a mere human, ever going to notice something like that? He may notice it. Oh, I think I'm cursed, but what could he do about it? But he knows people like us who do know how to do things like that, and who are more than willing to help. So when I said to you, Netter, initially, they're sent to drown out the Holy Spirit, you said that's so crazy because I'm listening to, what were you listening to?
Was that, I was playing, I think I might have been, did I say I was playing
the Lord's Prayer?
The Lord's Prayer on repeat?
Yes, on repeat. Yeah. And then the flies started materializing, multiplying. I think Ghost Dragon is just trying to get your thing to play. So we'll give him a minute or two.
Yeah. And that continued for three days, maybe even 4 days.
I think it was more like 4 days. Yeah, because I was really worried.
Yeah. I was killing flies until like 1:32 in the morning, and then I'm just like, I gotta go to sleep.
May I make a suggestion?
Go
buy a crucifix.
Oh, okay.
Hang it on your door on the outside, buy 2. Hang one on the outside of the door and hang one on the inside of the door. Also hang one above your bedroom door. So maybe 3. You may notice a difference. Yeah, it's even better if you can get them if you can get them blessed. But if you have enough faith and you hang those up, believe me, I've seen that happen. If you listen to the demon story that I tell, that's what we had to do to kind of keep it away from everybody and locked in your apartment until we could get help. Believe me, it makes a difference if you have that type of faith.
Yeah, and it's all about your faith, and that wouldn't necessarily work for everybody. That's why I ask what someone's faith is before I would suggest something like that, so we know that that's something that you believe in. So I don't want people to think that if you come to me for help, that's the first thing I'm going to send you to, because that's what I believe. I do specifically ask what your beliefs are on that. So I recently just got, I'm sending it to Arisha and Tennille, holy water, blessed holy water that I also crystallized. So I could send you some of that out. So if you buy the crucifixes, I will, or you can, I can't, you'll have them. Just kind of, I put in a squirt bottle, and you just kind of squirt it on there and hang it. That it can't hurt. The only way it could hurt is to piss whatever's happening off. But at the end of the day, they do give up. Believe it or not, but it takes a long time. So it's like they find other people to attach to. Now, your neighbor, I do believe, is a big issue right now for you because, like I said, his energy, his spirit is already tainted. Yours is no longer tainted. You're a fresh, newly light and enlightened spirit and being, and it sees you and you're pure. It already tainted this one, so let's move to the next one. And that's why I kept suggesting, almost to the point where like I was being pushy about it, like get out of that apartment. But I know it's not just that easy, right? It's not just that easy to just pick up and leave. And I do want to say too, that you live in Colorado. I don't know what the fly situation in the summertime. Smoochie, I totally understand why you have to leave, but that's why I said understand that this is because of what Netter specifically believes in. That we would suggest something like that. So I wouldn't suggest it for everybody, but I do believe you're religious or non-religious, whatever you believe in spiritually, religiously, is what's going to help you. Make a sport out of killing them with rubber bands. I mean, you could like just get like a slingshot, or like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just thumbtacks and just. I may be echoing a little bit. Yeah,
it's just Netter's got his sound on, so.
Oh.
You can keep the sound on and maybe just turn it down.
Yeah, just a little echo. It's not that bad.
Okay. Should I be
go to any Catholic?
Yeah.
And if you go to any Catholic church, you can get holy water there. The holy water that I get, the only difference is I try to get leaders from a few different religions to bless it and make war water, or I have the flat out plain regular holy water. So again, depending on what you believe in, if you're not a Catholic or a Christian and you wanted it, I would give you war water. But I would suggest for New England Dirt Roadie what I use, which is plain old holy water. A salt shooter fly gun? Are you serious? Hilton, there you go. There's so much, because I think, and I don't want to get into a religious debate. I'm actually not even allowed to on YouTube. But I just think there's so many different beliefs out there. And I think so many of them are all a little tiny piece of the giant truth puzzle. And I feel like whatever you call on will help you because it's basically all the same thing. It's just been corrupted. So I'm never trying to trigger anyone, and Smoochie knows that. But the fact of the matter is that is what he believes in, and that is what has helped him and will continue to help him.
Not only me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you just fine. Yeah,
Does
not
that
only
make
you.
things better? Okay.
Yeah, then we can't hear me anymore. But as long as you're comfortable.
Yes.
I can hear you. I can hear everything.
So what else do you?
Well, okay. This is this is big time. This past last week, so the fly infestation happened not this past weekend, but the weekend before, starting probably around Thursday or Friday, maybe Thursday. So that infestation, that abated. The flies, they just disappeared. I don't know where they came from. There's nothing came into my apartment and died under a washing machine or anything. I have 2 world champion heavyweight Olympic gold medalist mousers, so there isn't a mouse that ever came into this apartment. If something died in the air ducts, I would have smelled that. I don't know where these flies came from, but it eventually, I think by Monday morning, it kind of abated. And then on Wednesday, I have a 21-year-old cat. On Wednesday, he started deteriorating rapidly to a point where Friday morning, he was unresponsive to anything at all. I don't think he could even really go to the bathroom at that point. He was the only thing he would do is drink water constantly. And I don't think he was even, I didn't see any evidence of him even eliminating it. He could barely crawl across the floor.
You had messaged me that you didn't think you were going to be able to come on today because you thought you were going to have to put your cat down. I remember the message.
Yep. And I took him to the vet. I left work early on Friday. I took him to the vet that afternoon. They ran a blood test on him, and you have that email. Advanced advanced kidney failure. And the vet said, we can either do this now or you can bring him back tomorrow morning. But we are going to have to put him down. And I said, well, it's not going to happen today. That's for damn sure. And I took him back home, and I was just thinking about it, and I'm looking at him, splayed out on my living room floor, just totally unresponsive to anything at all. And I'm like, well, okay, I got to go do this tomorrow. I was even thinking about taking him down to the emergency vet that night. And I held off and I held off and I held off. And I thought, okay, I'll do this tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. And I woke up Saturday morning, and he was actually sitting on my windowsill waiting for his breakfast. And I gave him his breakfast, and he wasn't really that interested. And by the time I left for work that morning, I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it this morning. I'm going to hold off. And I had been having severe anxiety all that week. After I had gotten rid of the flies, I had severe anxiety all week. But I didn't take him Saturday morning either. I just went to work, and I was at work, and I could barely work. I could barely do anything because I'm thinking about my cats, and I've got all this anxiety about everything else in my life. And I just said, look, I can't work today. I'm totally non-functional. So I went back home, and I'm on my way back home, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to come home to either a dead cat on my living room floor, or I'm going to have to take him. And I got back home, and he was there on my windowsill. I'm like, okay, he's still alive. And I go out for a little walk around the neighborhood, and I come back, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start praying over him. And I got him in my lap. And I just started praying to Lord God Almighty and to Lord Jesus Christ. And I kept praying and praying and praying, and I was doing energy work, and I go get him right now. He's taking a nap on my rug.
He was just on your lap. Don't worry, guys.
Play it and I can show it. I just need to know which one was first and which one was second.
Okay, let's
So
ask
this
him.
is the fella.
Lynn, look at him. He's like fine.
Looks good.
So I had him, you know, and I'm praying over him. By the power of the blood of the Lord God Almighty, in the power of the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, I command that all illness and disease leave this cat and he be restored to his youthful vitality. And I kept praying and praying and praying and saying, Dear Lord God Almighty, please bless this cat with the divine love of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. And then I started doing energy work on him. I imagined a blinding, bright ball of white light, and I started circulating that. I started circulating it around and around and around. And I was doing this for like 2 or 3 hours on and off. I was doing it all night, on and off. And like I would specifically target his kidneys, and he also has his canines left. He has all of his other teeth removed, and I just, because the vet said his remaining teeth were really deteriorated. So
yeah, he's an old kitty.
If he's 21 years old, that's amazing.
And by the end of the night, he was chasing a daddy long legs across the floor.
I love it.
I'm like, oh my goodness, I have my cat back. And the next morning, I did the same thing, and I let him out onto the patio, and he's chasing a cricket around, and he chases a cricket into my next door neighbor's patio, and I'm like, I've got my cat back. I sent you the email from the vet.
Yes, we're going to show that in the videos in a minute.
And I still, every chance I get, I pray over him, and I do energy work on him, and I target his kidneys, and I target his teeth, and yeah.
I wanted to, before we play the videos, and show the vet notice. And I think the vet notice is really important, not because we don't believe you, but for people who aren't a part of this channel to come in and see that like you're not kidding and you just showed them the cat. I think it's really powerful, and I think it needs to be put out there. I want to say Paranormal Pixie said no matter what you believe in, prayer and energy work is powerful. Look at my kitty Ladybug. She was paralyzed and you wouldn't know it now. And I see pictures all the time on Facebook, and it's absolutely true. I had no idea. Lotus Girl, though she still has a lot of physical ailments, she's not here with us today, but I'm sure we can ask her about it tomorrow. She healed herself of, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something tremendous that, hey, Diane, that really, she was very sick to the point where she felt like she was dying. And she did energetic and healing work on herself. And you just have to believe that it works. It's a very powerful thing. There was one other thing. Oh, just really quick, guys. I just wanted to say I've been talking about it in chat, the downloads I've been getting, the Galactic Federation. I found out I'm putting together probably a 10-part series. I have enough information through what I received and some other research I've been doing with certain types of extraterrestrial that are connected. And the reason I bring this up is because we are very close to cats in particular. And when I made the mistake, well, I wouldn't say mistake because I'm happy that it happened, but it was terrifying, as it always is when I get a visit like that. I said I heard cats talking. Do you guys remember when I said that? I heard them talking in human language outside my window one time, and it was like I thought I was literally losing my mind or had taken some bad stuff. So there's this race called the felines is what we call them, but they're from Lyra. They don't really come here. They don't visit that often, but they are one of the only species that are more physically powerful than reptilians. Reptilians, there's a lot I'm going to go into with them. And of course, I can't make a general overall statement for every single reptilian that's ever been here. But for the most part, they do want our planet and they want us off of it. So the Lyrans are who protect us mainly. The whole Galactic Federation protects us, but the Lyrans are who the reptilians fear because of they trick us into signing these documents using our own free will, even though we don't really know what we're signing, meaning governments and humans in general. And then they say to the Galactic Federation, look, they use their own free will to sign these documents, to give us this or to give us that. And the Galactic Federation will say, well, they really did use their own free will. They're very particular, meticulous about not invading in our free will. So if we do something through free will, even though we were tricked, they don't understand that nuance, right? So they won't get involved. But the Lyrans, the felines, will kick some butt physically overtaking the reptilians, which is why they will not cross us. They are very dear to us. They protect us more than really any other entity as far as extraterrestrials go. And that is why we are so close to cats, domestic cats specifically. If you're a cat person, right? If you're a cat person, you are a cat person and you are for those cats. And that's because I think a lot of us retained a lot of this cosmic information that we were born with. So with that being said, I would like to Ghostdragonzw is kind enough.
We'll show the email first.
Okay.
Here's this. Okay, did it come up? There we go. There's the email.
It says, "Hi Seth. It appears Dr. Fine discussed Claude's end-stage kidney disease with you on Friday after in-house tests were performed. She did express the euthanasia was on the table and something to strongly consider given Claude's diagnosis. She did say there was an option to hospitalize Claude at a 24-hour emergency clinic as a Hail Mary, but looking at his test results, it's very unlikely that this would make much of a difference. I'm so sorry, Seth. If you'd like to sit down with Dr. Fine for more in-depth details, please let me know and I can set up a consult. If you'd like information on in-home euthanasia services or would like to learn more about our euthanasia process, I am here to answer any questions. Nicole Swanson, Patient Care Director. Guys, this is for the cat, and this was only what, Seth, a week ago?
Friday afternoon.
This past Friday, so 4 days ago, okay, that they were sending him this and saying, I'm so sorry, this is what's happening, there's nothing we can do really, and look at the cat now, jumping off his lap, jumping all around. So I just want to reiterate, guys, it doesn't need to be, I know people are going to be like, you can't advocate for praying to Jesus. I actually can, but pray to whatever you believe in, okay, or whoever you believe in. Like Lara said, prayer and energy work are extremely powerful healers, no matter what it is you believe. If you don't believe in a God or some omniscient presence or whatever, do the energy work, because honestly, I believe that combination, you don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you healed him. He's healed for now, and keep doing it, Yeah.
Here's another thing that we have talked about. I'm going to take him back in 2 weeks for the same round of tests. And I want to
let us know, please.
Well, what I want to do is if it's okay with the doctor, is video record the appointment.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I really would.
And so here's another thing that was like plaguing me last night is, and we've talked about this before, is this sensation. I mean, it feels like strands of cat fur laying on my nose and my cheeks. And somebody's going to be in the chat going, well, you do have two cats, dum-dum. No, it's not that. It's not that, because I go to wipe my face and 2 seconds later, there's these little sensations all over the place. And last night it was going bonkers. And we've discussed this as well. I don't know if you
if you guys come in for Wednesday night and you're there often enough, you'll know that my ears get bright red, and then I'll start doing this all night long. Every this, and I'll say, I'm sorry, I've said it 100 times. If I've said it 1,000,000, my face gets really itchy when the light and spirit are really strong in the room with me, wherever I go. And I didn't even make that connection until this morning, actually, because I've been racking my brain because it was happening for a little while, then it stopped. And I've just been racking my brain trying to think, and I didn't make the connection. And then Ghost Dragon said, that happens to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, it does. When I'm in stream, you guys will hear me say it all the time. I'm sorry, I keep touching my face, but it becomes super itchy when spirit is extremely strong in my presence. And I feel like, Seth, because you are so open right now to the good and the bad, that's why I want to keep giving you advice and giving you things that I know to do to keep yourself protected from that darker energy that is going to be attracted to you like a little kid to a candy store. Just keep, as best as you can, positive. And remember, the energy work and prayer work you did on your kitty, you can do on yourself as well.
Well, I've got a busted up knee that needs work.
I feel like when it comes to us, like ourselves, like even with me, I'm not psychic about myself. I can't, I could look at someone's picture and tell you most of their secrets. I could just read people's energy, but I get trapped in these terrible relationships with people. Why? Because it just doesn't work like that for me. I would have a perfect life if I could see everything that was coming, right? And plus, I'm very emotional because I'm a light worker. So we did figure out that that's most likely what was happening. All of the prayer, all of the saging, all of the energetic healing, the palm stone, all of the crystals, all of this new stuff that you've come into. I believe just sometimes spirit, light beings, the light itself is very present in the room with you. And I feel like, and I've said this to you a few times, once we get through all of this and get you to where you're permanently protected, for the most part, as much as you can be on a constant and regular basis, that I believe you're going to end up coming into or at least recognizing some abilities similar to what I have or to what a lot of people in this community have, where that's why you're so sensitive to spirit being around you. That's why you're so able to heal. Yeah, Nick says, tell the vet the flies are your pets and you need them humanely put down. You will have those people that are like, you spray flies.
Thanks for reminding me, Nick. I had this past weekend, I had a recurrence of this fly infestation, but it was dramatically reduced. There wasn't anything like the weekend before. And there was something else. Gosh, there was something else. There was something else that I was thinking that happened, but now.
Was it having to do with, because I was talking about coming into abilities and being permanently protected, and I want to show these videos real quick while you think about that.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you ready for the video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to show the one first. Make sure. What happened here? There we go. it up on my screen here. I guess I have
Take
to
your
pull it up.
time.
That's all right. I just gotta gather my poopy together here. Okay. This is the first one, I believe. Here we go. And share. Let me get it going. Let me know if you hear this all right.
Yep.
So what I was saying until I was so rudely cut off by the video time limit, I would be killing them like until, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, and that's just another fraction. I've swept them off the floor and dumped them out here, and this is just like just a couple more in the air. That's a small fraction of the flies that I've killed. And that's been going on for like the past.
Okay. Let me show the second video. I gotta pull that up.
That was actually the second.
I was going to say that was
Oh,
number
was
2.
that the second one? Okay.
We didn't have the order. When this is
That's
done,
okay.
I really need to say something about something I just saw. But play the video first, please.
Okay, wait.
I feel like I'm going to vomit.
1 second.
So what I was saying until I was so rudely cut off.
Wait, stop.
Take your time. Take your time.
We're
We're going to end
the
at
video
1:30.
started without me getting it on the screen here. You go through all this hassle. Okay.
Yeah, StreamYard doesn't make it easy if you don't do it all the time.
No, it was just a video.
There it is.
So what I was saying until I was so rudely cut off by.
Isn't this is the second one, Steven? This is one we just saw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, wait.
We're professionals, I swear.
I'm not no.
Heather knows me. Half the time when we talk on video, I've got no makeup on, no hair in, and I'm like this.
Why am I doing that? 1 sec.
It's okay. If you need to delete that one, maybe, because I still have a copy of it.
No, I got it. It just somehow I downloaded the same video twice.
No worries. I want to say, I don't know if any of you guys saw it. Miss Shelley, you may have seen it. I don't like to say things like this a lot, not because of the people in the chat, but the people that come afterwards. But it needs to be said. You can literally see what when you see an energy, the energy surrounding those flies is not normal. And I wish everyone can see that, because it goes to prove to me that it is a demonic thing as opposed to just an infestation of flies. And I really wish one day they would come out with something so everyone can see this kind of grody, slimy, disgusting, green tinged stuff all over those flies, when really they just look like a bunch of dead flies. That's demonic. It's demonic when I see it on people, and it is demonic when I see it on animals, and it's demonic when I see it on insects. That's the same one.
That is the same one?
Yeah, it starts off with him saying what, like I was saying before I was so rudely cut off. I swear we're professional.
Okay, hold on, I got it.
I almost said professional flies because I was reading.
So what I was saying until I was so rudely cut off by.
That's okay. 1 sec. Pause. That's the same one. Why is it not giving me?
Do you want me to send you the other one?
I got them both. It doesn't want to. 1 sec.
Yep.
Somehow I got.
Yeah, it's fine. Take your time. We're not, we didn't even think we were going to be able to do it because we don't do it that often, but I think it's important that you guys see.
Okay, the one with the plug at the beginning is the first one.
I just know he's saying what I was saying before I was so rudely cut off. That's how I know that's the second one that we already watched.
Okay, that's the one I got. Okay. 1 second. Here we go. 1 second. Let me play it. Download it. Okay, here we go. Let me get this right now. Windows. No, that's not what I want. Make sure this is the right one.
So what I was saying until I was so rudely cut off.
That's it.
That is it?
No, that's the one we already watched.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. For some reason, it doesn't want me.
Okay.
Wait 1 second. Why didn't it do that? I'm just going to play it straight off the mail. Okay. I don't know why this is being like this.
New England Roadie, is there what's underneath you? Underneath the room you're sitting in, is there an apartment underneath you or something else?
I'm on ground floor.
Okay. Shelly wanted to know. Shelly, that you could be picking up what was there before.
Okay. And that one.
I don't think I'm over the underground garage. There is an underground garage under my apartment complex.
She's like, is where he's sitting, you know, she's seeing something like that. So
yeah, there is. There's an underground garage.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm just trying to get this right.
Cuzzo, don't worry. I told you we're professionals. We got this. Can exorcisms be performed? I mean, you can perform an exorcism on anything that you want, but I don't believe computer screens can be possessed. I think things that come through your computer, for sure. I don't think exorcising the screen would actually do anything for you. You would have to get to the heart of the matter. Demons can't take possession of inanimate objects, right? They want souls is what they're looking for. An inanimate object does not have a soul.
Something under the couch.
That's it. That's the one we're looking for.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, paranormal it is, unless you pay $60 a month, and I cheaped out. I pay $25.99. Actually, you guys pay it, so.
No, don't do that. Okay, I just got to move it. No.
There's only dust bunnies under my couch.
Oh yeah, Shelly. He said there might be the underground garage underneath him or somewhere nearby. There's the kitty.
Okay, let me get it back to the beginning. Make sure this is loud.
Is that the same one?
Yeah, this is the different one.
No.
Okay, so this is just a small fraction of what I wake up to and come home to, a very small fraction. And I imagine that, you know, as the evening goes on, more will be appearing. But yeah, it seems like hopefully and this is just vinegar. You know, hopefully, kind of hard to look in the viewfinder.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a tiny fraction of what I would wake up to.
Yeah, that's a really small fraction of what I've come home to.
Yeah, that was the tail end of it right there.
Wake up in the morning.
I have a couple of questions.
Maybe this is the tail end of it. Okay.
Well, Somebody in the chat asked if the upstairs apartment was checked.
My son, that was Damien. By the way, Damien, yeah,
Oh,
that is my son.
Yeah, that's what I forgot a little while ago. So last weekend, I actually put in a maintenance request to have my apartment checked for a possible source for these flies. So yesterday, the maintenance guy comes with an exterminator, and they come in my apartment, and I'm like, oh, there's no more. The fly infestation is over. And so I asked him, we start talking, and he's like, oh, yeah, this summer's really bad for flies, which I haven't really noticed. And I said, so have there been any other apartments that have mentioned anything about fly infestation? And he said, no. So I guess it's just been this apartment.
Yeah, and that's, and that was, Damien, actually a great point, because I know people will be asking that, and I didn't think to. There were a couple things that I wanted to discuss too before we ended, but I wanted to say as well, there was one more thing. Weren't the people upstairs, or specifically the guy, I know you do, baby. He goes, being specific to one apartment is creepy for me, but I hate bugs. I know he does. We're in the house. He's 18. You cannot call him to kill a bug. Like, I have to do the killing in the house. Like, my mom will scream, and you'll see me down there, and he's like, it's not a bug, is it? But that's okay. Miss Paranormal Pixie, I sure will. Yes, I would love that. I wanted to mention, weren't they gone, or he was specifically gone, particularly when the fly infestation started? I thought that was very strange. If I understood you right.
He was gone for a while, I think, because I thought he was gone for a while, because I thought maybe he had left, because I think it was mainly him that was stomping around.
Well, he is very physically abusive to her. I can tell you that. He's physically violent towards her on parts of her body where you can't see. So don't be surprised if you do end up seeing her one day. She won't make direct eye contact and has like a black eye or something. He's physically brutal towards her. And that doesn't remove her from being responsible or accountable. But I remember being a victim of domestic violence where I had no control. I was being pummeled, and the screaming or the banging constantly was me hitting walls. So that is 100% happening. So maybe she did what most battered women do and got rid of him for a little while, and then he weaseled his way back in. Miss Shelley, I know what you're picking up on. I believe you're picking up on probably the residual energy of the attachment that we removed, the mayor, or the other entity. She's picking up a tall man, a bigger build, broad shoulders. That is how he presented his energy. I don't think that's what he looked like in real life, but that is how he presented to me. He's gone, but there is still, as you and I have talked about, Netter, residual.
No, he's back. I had an encounter with him a few.
Oh
no,
I mean the mayor. I was talking
about
the
mayor. Okay.
Yeah, she's picking up the mayor.
Okay.
The residual energy of him.
Well, I mean, you can go look up Mayor John J. Krause.
That's what's amazing about all this. This person, we can prove that he existed.
There's probably a picture of him somewhere. Yeah. Mayor John J. Krause. He was apparently the mayor of Syracuse around the turn of the century.
I was so I'm just typing baby UFO. That's actually a really interesting thought, and I don't know. I just know there are individual agents working collectively at the behest of the demonic, but that's actually a very interesting. Maybe that's like their job in order to like move on from having to do the grunt work or something. I don't know. That's a really interesting line of thought I'm going to explore. Do you remember, Seth, when I kept telling you I know this isn't what this guy really looks like, meaning the mayor. And I'm like, he's presenting himself as much bigger than he really is. I know this isn't what this guy really looks like.
Yeah.
That's what she's seeing.
Yeah.
She's describing exactly how I originally saw him.
Uh-huh.
That's our Shelley. So I took a couple notes here of two things that we wanted to discuss before we end. Okay. So, and this is for people now, when we talk about proper prayer, that doesn't have to necessarily be prayer to Jesus or God, right? If that's what we're talking about, it's because it is what got Seth through because of his beliefs. So I'm not pushing religion or pushing Christian prayer, okay? That is specific to this, many that I've been in, but if we're talking about New England Dirt Roadie's specific path and everything he's done, that's why we're going to talk about the proper way. And he has something important that he wants to say with regard to that. Remember, you said you wanted to discuss that. Remind me to talk about the proper way to pray.
Well, I'm actually kind of second guessing myself because we already
Did we talk about it?
Well, we already triggered somebody.
No, here, but that's why I wanted to give it that context. We're talking about it in what worked for you.
Oh, okay. So what worked for me was, and I heard this. I don't remember where I heard this, but what seems to work for me is making commandments in the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. I've actually used I used that after the first fly infestation abated. I used that to seal off my apartment and even seal off the outside door, and sealing off the entire section of the apartment building. And I used that on my cat to command the illness and disease out of him. Yeah.
And I think
rather than coming from a position of begging and requesting.
That's what I was just going to say.
Rather than making commandments that everybody has this ability to heal their cats. Everybody has it. If I have it, you have it, and you have to know that you have it, and you have to command these things of what you want to happen.
And it's like with we talk about this in the same vein too as manifestation, right? We say you can't just, I do 55 of the same exact thing every single night. I write it down as though I already have it. This is one specific thing that I want more than anything in the world that I need. But I have to believe that I'm going to receive that. I can't just write it down and walk away from it and be like, my life's never going to get any better. And I know that's easy to do, right? Because especially for light workers right now, it's changing so slowly for us that it is easy to get caught up in that. This is never going to change. Nothing's ever going to get better. I'm cursed. We have to believe it. And so if you don't think of it with prayer immediately, think of it in terms of manifestation too, commanding that it happen and knowing with absolute certainty that it will. There can be no doubt, okay? And that's really important. Lotus Girl, I know you're listening, or I'm pretty sure you are because you popped in. I just wanted to say we mentioned you before where Seth was talking about healing his cat of these illnesses. And if you go back and watch this, I think you'll find it very interesting because it's a lot along the lines of how we talk a lot, or we used to in stream on Wednesday nights about how you've healed yourself from very dire and desperate illness, basically from the brink of death. She could not get out of bed. She could not eat. She could not drink. Same thing that was going on with your cat. And that was years ago. And she did it all through energy work on herself, manifestation on herself. The last thing I want to get into before I go, because I have like maybe
I want to
20,000 words to write today.
I want to make a correction.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. Like you say all the time.
Yes.
It wasn't me. It was coming through me.
Yes.
I was
yes.
I was only the channel.
And we are all channels. And I'm glad you said that, because I was trying to think of the right way to say it, because I know a lot of the Catholics will believe that you have to belong to Jesus to be able to do that. Christians are more lenient with it. So just think of it that way. It happens through you. I can pick up an oracle card, as I tell you guys all the time, and I can tell you what the book says and interpret that meaning.
And it doesn't, I don't think it has to be, religious.
Right.
Or a religious figure, because I was doing energy work at the same time.
And that's exactly the distinction. I mean, I could do that, or I can channel spirit team through, and all of your spirit teams, I don't see, if I ask, you'll hear, I have conversations in my head during all of Wednesday night stream. That's why I'm very like here and there, because there are a million things going on that you guys are not aware of, because it's all happening in my head. I'm telling energy to back up. I'm telling certain spirits they don't belong here. I'm arguing with, this person over in the corner because they don't want to wait their turn. It's like the line at the DMV every Wednesday night, okay, in my bedroom. But I see it in energy unless I'll say, can the main spirit guide step forward? And then they will, with more clarification for me. And all of your different spirit teams look different to me energetically. Okay, so we're all different on that spectrum, but we're all the same because we all have this energy attached to us. Positive affirmations, Lotus Girl says, visualization, meditation, prayer, and digging deep inside of myself to pull out all of the negative, retrain the mind, thoughts, and feelings and emotions to be positive. There was a guy I was working with. He disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened to him. I told him, I see tar. It's weird. It's like tar. And he goes, oh my gosh, there's this witch living behind me, cursed me. And then he just sent, I don't get into the whole thing, but he sent me a picture of this tar-like stuff that was oozing out of his body. And that's what I was trying to work on with him to pull it out. I said, you may vomit it up. When I do that kind of work on people to try to remove stuff from within, I usually tell them you will wake up and you'll feel like you're vomiting, but like air will come out. You have to look deep inside. You have to look inside of your heart. But New England Dirt Roadie, I think you were spot on when you said it's not you, it's the channel. But you really do have to believe it. And we all have the ability to do it. And I think that's the main takeaway from that. You don't have to believe in a specific deity or ideal, right? And that's so important, guys, because we could be living better lives if we would just accept that we are capable, right? We're mere humans, but we are capable. And the last thing, and I think this is really important and something everybody should be aware of. And I'm glad that you brought it up, Seth. Unknowingly entering into a binding contract, and just by interacting, where a demonic entity can't possess you unless you invite it. You have to invite it into your life, into your energy to begin with. And I use the example because it happens so often of a little child seeing another little child, a spirit child, and inviting them to come play. The spirit child's actually a demon. The child just invited the demon or demonic activity into its life. What are your thoughts on that? Or do you want to talk about maybe an experience you had or what you think happened with the guy upstairs? Because I know you said that this is something that you wanted to just touch on as well.
Oh, well, the other night last week I got my doorbell rang at 2 a.m. and I was up anyway because I have horrible insomnia. So I opened the door and there's a food delivery guy standing there waiting to be let in. He's like, oh my gosh, I opened the door and here comes the guy down the stairs and I'm just like, and I think I probably made him nearly go to the bathroom in his pants because I saw him shivering, shaking, walking down, and I just went back in. And it happened again around 1:30 in the morning the other night. And the girl starts coming down the stairs. She's like, oh, well, I'm sorry it happened again, but the first time it was out of my control. So I said, what is in your control? And we just got into this conversation about them stomping around until 2 o'clock in the morning. And, that's that. And I had just watched a video about unknowingly entering into binding contracts just by shaking somebody's hand or exchanging personal information with somebody. And she said, well, I can give you my phone number and you can text me when this is happening. And I was just like, I think I'm just going to hold off on that for now. And so that was that experience. That's why I sent you that.
And that was good.
But you said it exactly.
You don't want to make those accidental connections. Now, it's people are like, well, how will I ever possibly know? And for some people, there may be no inkling. But even people who are not light workers, I don't care. You could be the farthest away from the light and right at that line, right before light turns into dark, and just be walking around totally unaware. Excuse me. Bye, cuz. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. So everybody gets an energetic hit when they're around something that doesn't vibrate as high as they do. It doesn't mean that it's an evil or negative thing. I mean, a lot of us will get physically ill, or like Seth, like you did, you got, all of a sudden you wanted to just clock the guy. You'd only seen him for 30 seconds. You never met him before. Very out of character, right? Very out of character for you. Okay. We're all going, and it's like I said, it's not only evil and demonic, because if we're vibrating higher, our energy cannot connect with a lower vibration without us having to go down to their level. They can't just raise up. We can go down, but then we're gonna have a hard time getting back up again. And that's the thing. You will always feel like something is off, even if it's the tiniest little thing. You just feel uncomfortable around somebody to one degree or another. That means you are not meant to. Probably try not to engage in conversation with them. Like, don't accept their phone number. Don't touch them if at all possible. Don't shake hands. If you feel uncomfortable, just, oh, my hands are dirty. That's what I had to do very recently with someone who tried to shake my hand. I went like this. Oh, yeah, my hands are dirty. Sounds stupid, but it worked. They were like, oh, okay, no problem. I really want to as little interaction as possible when you start getting those energetic hits. New England Dirt Roadie, I want to thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. You did amazing. See, it was
my pleasure. This was awesome.
We would love to have you back on again to continue on your journey and see where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
With the cat specifically, I think people would like to know when you go back. If you can't get the video, just tell us. We believe you.
Well,
if you
I'll get the report from my vet. That's for sure.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'm going to pull you out, and I'm going to say goodbye to Steven in the chat. And do you have anything else that you want to say? Or
I think I covered it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'll see you Wednesday night.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Sir Ghost Dragon. Awfully quiet, like always. You're on mute. Mom, I love you. Enjoy the rest of your birthday. I'll send you the link for tomorrow if you're around. Damien, I love you too, sweetie. And I'll talk to you guys later. Mom, start checking the mail today for your drum, your native drum that I sent you. It'll come in a bright orange bag. You good, Steven?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now remember, I'm going to be on Paranormal Highway Thursday.
No, I didn't even know that. So.
I told you.
I'm sure you did. When did you tell me? I was in the middle of a lot this past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he wants to go over the video.
I believe I'm going on there on the 25th.
Right. Yeah, he was excited about that too.
What video?
The shadow that went past me.
Oh, yes.
Everybody's seen it. It's made the rounds, I guess. So.
Oh, using my dips without my permission? You will be locked in the basement. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm just leaving now. So
Hey,
goodbye.
I noticed though that I keep like I am steadily gaining subscribers, and that's probably another reason why is because that video originated on my channel. So that's awesome. Use it always. And I will be there for you. What time are you going to be there?
I believe. Well, our time I think it's noon.
Oh, noon. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
'cause,
So
you know, he lives out west, I believe.
are you? Well, find out for sure because Paranormal Pixie and I may have to do chillax and chat.
No, it's in the afternoon. It
is in the afternoon.
Yeah, he
And
does
then
day shows.
you could let us know if you feel like doing chillax and chat with us. It won't be the same without you, but I know how it feels to live stream twice a day, and it's rough. So you let us know, but find out the exact time for me, and I'll be there. I will definitely.
So that's noon our time, I believe.
I will definitely be there to support you. For sure.
I'll get a hold of him and find out for sure. I'll jump in one of his streams and make sure, because I don't have his email. So yes, at noon. Pixie said yes at noon.
All right, guys, love you. Thank you so much for stopping in. If you need anything, hit me up. I did a little video. My mom and I kind of did it yesterday. It's less than 5 minutes. It's just us hanging out. We got the beach, the ocean, the water park, and just us kind of goofing around. I'm going to post it. Comments off because, not because of you guys, but just because, the keyboard, people want to come keyboard thugging in my videos. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 7:15-ish, probably closer to 7. We've been trying to, but between 7 and 7:15 Eastern for live intuitive oracle. And I can't wait for that. So yeah, whatever. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yes, Mom, happy birthday. Enjoy the rest of your birthday, please. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.